Fenty asked me to model for them. Immediately thought it was a scam. Bitch, am I getting scammed? Like, my nails were ripped out. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Would love to get you over to New York. What's the earliest you can come? They call it the most isolated city in the world. I didn't tell anyone until... But you were dad! Mad tea. Babes, the way I was floored. I'm a Fenty what? He was offering me mint. I was like, does my breath stink? I was able to carry out my voice. Am I gonna go to jail for this? Huge. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. I know I promised you a lot of things. I'm a busy girl. I'm booked and busy. I don't know if you guys can see this, but my desk, my workspace is a mess. But I was doing a lot of videos today. I have been kind of like freelance, also started a business the past year since I quit my full-time job. So it's just been chaos and hectic, but we are learning to balance it out. Anyways, I digress. This is not about me. Like, well, it is, but this is not about me. This is about you nosy ass bitches, okay? And I also understand I have some monitoring spirits, but little do the monitoring spirits know that I only release information that I want them to know. So here it is. Here's the little information that I want you to know about how I became a Fenty model and how I got flued out by Fenty to be part of their Fenty skin campaign. Anyways, whilst I'm telling you the story, we're also going to be cleaning up my makeup station because she needs some TLC. Long time ago, not a long time ago, this was probably like 2020, 2021. Oop, hang on. Tweezers on the floor. Let me pick that up first. Okay, so this was like 2020, 2021. I think this was just after COVID. Essentially what had happened is prior to me actually getting contacted by Fenty, I was already doing content on social media. And mind you, when I first started social media, it wasn't like I wanted to be famous. It wasn't so that I could quit my 9-to-5 job. It was literally, what the fuck? Batch? Oh, Duki, your fart stinks. My main purpose of doing social media was literally for fun. It was for vibes, and it still is for vibes. Never set myself out to be like, oh, I'm gonna do this like full-time. I'm gonna be full-time creator, like like I'm gonna make a job out of this. It was never that. I've always had like my own thing going on. Anyways, a couple of videos already went viral, and by viral I mean viral, like millions and millions of views, which is why you guys are also here. So thank you very much. I already had like a following at that time, but it was mainly on TikTok. I think I was on like 100 something on TikTok already at the time, which is not that big. Now that I look back at it, I'm like, oh, that's like, I feel like that's medium, like medium aspiring. What the fuck? Medium aspiring creator type beat. So I'd already done a couple of videos, and I'm guessing the team seen a couple of my videos, and to this day, I am very like girl empowerment, yes, slay queen, like serve pussy face cunt. Like that's still my branding. Anyways, I had started this full-time job. I was in marketing. I was a marketing coordinator. Everything was good and well, whatever. And then I wake up one day and I get a DM from this, like, mind you, this was an Instagram DM. So this wasn't on my TikTok. It was on my Instagram, which I found weird because my TikTok was only like, I want to say like 15K. It wasn't that much. There was actually not a lot of people filtering from my TikTok to go into my Instagram. So I was like a bit shocked that I'm like, oh, what's this producer talent lady doing in my DMs on my Instagram DMs? What is happening? And so I immediately thought it was a scam. I opened this DM and it turns out the lady had also called me. This is 2 a.m. my time. Mind you, this producer lady is in New York. I can't remember the message anymore, but I'll put up the screenshot somewhere on the screen. I think she said like, hey, I'm a producer for Fenty, like would love to get you over to New York. What's the earliest you can come?
Babe, director's cut. You already know that I'm gonna exaggerate the story, so relax. Anyway, she didn't say, oh, what's the earliest it could come? Shut up. Anyway, I'm a main character in my story. If you want your own story, go make your own, okay? Anyway, back to the video. Love ya.
Babes, the way I was floored. I literally woke up that morning and I was like, bitch, am I getting scared? Like, I felt like I was in a phone scam. I don't know if I'm falling for this, but then also at the same time, she called me. You'd be fucking insane to it was a video call too. You'd be insane to video call me, scamming me. And then so I was like, wait, I went onto her profile. So she seemed regular. I didn't really thoroughly go through her page to be like, oh yeah, I definitely know. I can confirm this is Fenty. Anyways. And then so I kind of just left it. And then I was getting ready for work. And then I just had an inkling. I was like, I'm just going to message her back because if it is a scam, like I'll be able to sniff it out within 0.2 seconds. So then I messaged her back. Hey, like da da da. I also tried to call her and then like the phone call didn't go through. And then so I just left it. And then actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull up the conversation that I had with her. Okay, so this lady goes, hi, Pauline. First of all, Govey is crazy. Hi, Pauline. I'm casting for Fenty Skin. Shoot Friday, November 11th. Babes, it's literally 23, 24, 25. It's 3 years ago today. 3 years ago. Shoot Friday, November 11th in NYC. We wanted to see if you would be interested. She calls me. Oh, it wasn't a video call. It was just a call. She then messaged me and she goes, you can email me at da-da-da-da. The team would love to present you. And then I was like, hi there. Because I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So anyway, I had messaged her back and I was like, hey, I live all the way in Perth. Mind you, if you guys don't know where Perth is, it's literally, I think they call it the most isolated city in the world. I don't know how true that is, but anyways, it's like Sydney and Melbourne are like on this part of Australia, which is like where everyone goes to. We're literally 5 hours away, all the way on the other side. Anyway, so I go and call her because she didn't reply back to me. I said to her, hey, feel free to call me in my mobile, +61. We then have email back and forth. I think we had a call over WhatsApp. She ended up saying, hey, could you get an Esther like pronto, literally right now, because we'd love to have you. So remember, she said the shoot is on the 11th. She messaged me on the 4th. So that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I had 7 days, regardless of whether or not this was a scam, which it wasn't because she was already being like, oh, we're gonna book the ticket, like your tickets for you. Anyway, so now I'm like, I need to get an Esther. They can't get me a plane ticket before. Actually, they got me a plane. Oh, yeah, they can't get me a plane ticket before I get my Esther, before I can. No, they already got me a ticket before I even got my Esther. I think it was like I applied for my Esther, they got the ticket, but I still hadn't heard back whether or not my Esther was approved. And Esther is like a visa. Anyway, and then so I'm like, am I going to go to jail for this? I don't really know if I'm going to go to jail for this. This story is all alleged, okay? This is all alleged. I low-key don't recollect how the events happened anymore. So this story may be inaccurate if you are the tax man. Anyway, yeah, so she's like, yeah, like, well, I apply for visa, da, da, da. And then I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I'm just going to apply for the Esther now. You guys can sort out my ticket, my accommodation, and then I am going to tell my manager that I'm out of here in like less than a week. I go to work. I go to my table. I sit there. My boss comes in. And then I go and tell him. I was like, hey, by the way, Fenty asked me to model for them. I'm going to go. He goes, okay. And then he goes, we should have a separate conversation with this afterwards. Mind you, I just said it in front of the team, which my bad gang. But I'm gonna go. I'm not sorry that I said it. I'm sorry about the way that I said it, okay? Pulls me over to a room to have a chat and he was like, oh, I'm not really okay. You said it as a matter of fact. You didn't ask me if you could go. I'm gonna go. And I had like PTO. Like, what do you mean? I literally had leave days. Like, because I was like, I know I'm gonna miss out on this opportunity. Let's call him John. If you had said, oh, hey, John, is it okay if I go to New York because Fenty asked me to be a model? Then I would have been all right if you said that. Are you my dad? You mad thing. As soon as an ethnic young woman stands up and says no to authority, then it's an issue. Anyways, that was a joke. Anyway, you have no choice. I'm going, regardless of whether or not you say yes or no. The fuck? I'll just quit the job if that's the case. If you tell me that I'm not going, I'll quit the job. I'll slide the resignation letter effective immediately. So I'm there. I'm sitting down. The vibe is a bit off. And then what happens? I get home. The Esther is approved. The Esther is approved. The girl is ready to go. Okay. At this point, I haven't told my parents. I haven't told my friends. The only person that literally knows about this is Keith, my boyfriend. I was only actually planning to tell them, like planning to tell my parents that I'm leaving once my Esther was approved and everything was like certain, because I didn't want to like start telling everyone. And I'm also very big on like not telling people anything until like the actual thing has happened. And for a really long time, even after like we did the shoot and stuff like that, I didn't tell anyone until the actual video came out. I don't tell anyone about my projects because I just fully believe in evil eye. I'd rather keep it all to myself until the thing has actually happened. So Esther got approved. I tell my parents and they're like, are you sure this is legit? And I was like, I don't know. And then at that point, I was like, maybe I should like look into this lady that like DM'd me that's doing the casting. And then so I go and look at her page, and then I also looked at her LinkedIn, and she's actually worked with Fenty multiple times. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is legit. And then so at that point I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna just take the leap and go. So I get booked from Perth going to New York, and this is on the 10th of November, Perth time. So it would have been 9th of November for them. And the day that I got there would have been the 10th, which is the day before the shoot, because obviously like America's a bit backwards. This is me on the plane. Period, because it's about to be a skin campaign. You know, I had to grab one of the masks to prepare. I've told Keith as well. This was me and Keith. I'm gonna zoom in and cut Keith out because he just came out from work, but this was me at the airport with Keith. And then so I'm flying out. Sorry, I flew out on the 9th of November. Oh, and they flew me Emirates, girl. These people flew me Emirates. I slept good. So I get to Dubai. And then, and my skin was looking good. So like, look at her. She said, Fenty skin model, Fenty skin model, calling Fenty skin model. I get to JFK on the 10th of November at like 11. Then I'm going through TSA. TSA agent looks at my thing and was like, oh, like, what are you here for? And I was so scared because I'm like, fuck, like, what the fuck? They're gonna stop me? Like, what is going on? He was like asking me why I was there for, because I'm only gonna be in New York for like a couple of days, like not barely a week. And I was like, oh, actually, like, oh, I'm here for like a brand trip, like blah, blah. And he was like, oh, okay, no worries. And then he like lets me through. And then I was like, thank God. And then at that point, I also get a message from the lady that's been coordinating with me. And she was like, just letting you know, you have a luxury like Uber. It's like a luxury Uber service. I can't exactly remember what it's called, but it's like a VIP black tie kind of service. And then it's this huge guy. This guy's probably like 6'5" dude, like kind of buff, had like on a suit and tie and everything. And he like came out to me and was like, Pauline. And I was like, yeah, hi. And it was I can never remember what these are called. Escalade? Yeah, it was an Escalade, I think. I was like, water in there. He was offering me mint. I was like, does my breath stink? Just let me know. But yeah, he was actually a really nice guy. And he gave me his credit, calling card. And I wish I still had it, but I don't know where it went. It's like gone. Mind you, everything that has happened prior to me getting to New York, it didn't feel real. Like none of it felt real. It was just words on message until I actually got to New York and I sat in that car and we were driving through to go to, I think it was like East Manhattan is where I stayed. But anyway, and I was like, holy fuck, I just got flown out by Fenty. I literally was sitting there and I was like, I'm literally a girl from Cebu City, okay, from a little island in the Philippines, who happened to move to Australia, started making content on a platform she didn't even want to make content on. She wasn't even setting out for her life to be a content person or anything like that. She was just chilling. But no, I literally sat there and I was like, God did this. I was sitting there and I was like, holy moly, this is insane. I remember seeing a Steve Madden, like a big Steve Madden billboard campaign thing on the side. And I was like, that's going to be me one day. It's going to be me one day. And I know. So I'm like, I feel like I'm not even like cleaning up. I think majority of my cleanup is like done. We get to my hotel. Mind you, this is a boutique hotel. This hotel is so nice. The bed was like on the floor type B. I'll put it on the screen. And at this point, like I was already texting Keith. I was calling my parents. I was clearly excited, right? I remember crying. I remember as soon as I got into my hotel, I just remember crying and I remember breaking down and I was like, I'm so grateful. I said a prayer immediately. I said, thank you, God. You have enabled me to do such a cool opportunity like this. I hope many come in my future. Like it was just insane. It was just insane to think that I was able to carry out this big voice from a tiny lady, from a tiny body. I was able to carry out my voice. To be able to actually go to New York and like do this stuff. But anyways, I get there and the day after is immediately the shoot. I think I get to New York at like 6 o'clock. So I got to New York at 6 o'clock. Immediately, I said, I'm hungry. Let me go get some food. And then at the time, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was like that meme and it was like the New York street walks and it was like bing bong. And there was like a bing bong thing. I took a photo of that. I sent it to Keith immediately. Went and grabbed a pizza. Literally just went back to my hotel room to like bask in it and like really live in the moment. The day after was the day of the shoot. And I think my time slot was like 12 p.m. onwards. And so that morning, I literally was just like gallivanting, walking around. My outfit was pretty sick. She looked kind of cute. Then I start heading to the studio. Mind you, it was raining and it was like really gloomy and dark. But I was like, I'm not gonna let a little rain affect my mood. And as soon as I got there, everyone is like hustling and bustling. Everyone's doing their thing. And I was like, oh, hi, I'm Paul. Like, and it's this big, massive warehouse. There's like food on the table. There's like a bunch of people just like running around. And I was like, holy shit, this is like my first campaign that I'm not behind the camera for. I'm going to be the one that's getting taken photos and videos of. Like, what? I meet everyone. I meet the lady that contacted me. I meet her assistant. I meet a whole bunch of marketing people from Fenty. I meet the creative director. I meet a bunch of really cool people. I also met the other model. Her name's Aliana. Then it was time to get into like wardrobe, hair, and like stylist. I didn't even do makeup. They literally just like how I came is how they wanted me to be. I get into the shooting. I had 3 outfits with 3 different scenes. The first scene was in this like pink, like pink feather fluffy pajama, and I had never been in a production like that where there's like screens, there's big ass fucking cameras that probably are worth hundreds and thousands of dollars, or like a bunch of crew like looking at me act. And the first scene was in the bathroom. They tell me the concept, and the concept was pretty much like, oh, you're running late for like work and Fenty's like your go-to skincare for the morning. I'm like, got it, say less. And then they lock me in this bathroom with another guy and this big ass camera, and there's like a mirror in front of me and there's like a sink. And this is the bathroom of the place that we were shooting at. And then they were like, look, we're gonna give you all these Fenty products. Let's play some music and just go for it. It's literally me in the bathroom, like just with hella, like just dancing. At one point I was twerking on the basin. Like it was a vibe. Like they literally caught my essence as a person. Like they were like, just go for it. And there was even a corgi, I think a French bulldog at one point. Oh, and before this, I was at Melbourne Fashion Festival, okay? I had these really super long nails specifically for Melbourne Fashion Festival. But before I flew out to the Fashion Festival, I was walking my dog with Keith, and literally 2 of my nails were ripped out because Duke had like the leash had wrapped around my fingernails, and when Duke took off, literally the nail took off with him. It was that bad. So it was bleeding. And the time of this shoot, they got me to wear, to wear press-ons. Thank God for that, because 2 of my nails were literally missing. The nails kept coming off because obviously they had like literally my hand, but the nails kept coming off because there was no nail to actually like stick the fake nail, the press-ons onto. It was just skin. It was so gross and I felt so bad. The next scene was like this elevator scene, and it was like, you know, you're running late for work, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. I did a little bit of the elevator scene. We actually filmed that for a really long time, but it only showed a couple of seconds at the end of the campaign. And then the last scene, which is the most memorable one, they were like, we're gonna need you to break through a door. And break through a door I did. It was like this really super thin layer of wood, and they were like, you can literally, like, it breaks really easily, just run through it. And I was like, say less. The first take, I fell to the floor. And we only had 2 takes to get it right because they only had 2 doors, I think, prepared for that day. I literally had no choice but to get it on the second go. Oh, and another thing as well, we actually also filmed like a going out scene outside where the cafe, canteen, eating area was. I don't think they ended up showing that part. But anyways, so the last scene was me breaking through the store. The way that your girl was like, no matter what happens next, I'm going to keep running because I am not ruining the money that went into the production. And like, this is my last chance to get it right. Anyway, so I broke through it. And the first time, everyone was actually like, oh, holy shit, like she fell. And everyone was like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. I was fine. But it was like very like shocking because I was like, I didn't expect for that door to be so flimsy. I thought it was like a lot harder than what it looked like. So anyways, I like boots through the door the second time and it was perfect. And we got this perfect scene of me bootsing through the door and I was more than happy. And I was like, thank God. And literally that was the last take of the day and everyone was like, yeah. Oh, before this as well, sorry to go back, but before this as well, we had the bed scene and it was like me in the, like this is the opening scene, right? Like me in the bed and I'm sleeping and then obviously the Frenchie as well. I think they got their, like they superimposed like Mark's song onto the dog. They got me to like dance around the bed, do crazy shit on the bed. I'm like jumping and shit and doing twirls. So that was really cool. And then we moved into the bathroom. But I think that was a really good scene to start with because it got me like a little bit loosened up and like a little bit like fun and fresh. After that whole, oh my God, I'm like running out of like saliva talking. After that whole entire thing, the day has ended. I think we finished, I can't remember what time we finished. Let me just double check, hang on. We finished at 9:52. So we finished like super late. It was already dark. And then I had also gotten an Uber to go back to my hotel, which I really could have just walked, but it was raining. I was running on pure adrenaline. I was honestly just like go. Like it didn't even process to me that I just did like a full on shoot with the freaking Fenty team. I go back to my hotel and I'm like, holy shit. I like literally cry on the way home. I'm telling Keith about what happened. I'm super overwhelmed. I think I've lost my voice at this point. My social battery is so low. I am an extrovert, but at the end of the day, an extrovert gotta chill. But it was the most insane experience I have ever had.
I'm so incredibly grateful. I don't even know where to start. I know it's probably not like a big deal. Like, why the fuck am I crying on the internet? But I just wanted to say
this will be a story that I will tell like oh, I don't want to have kids. That I will tell my dog over and over again, even if he doesn't want to listen. I will tell this story to my dog's dog. Okay? Or when I'm in the nursing home and some poor student comes up to me and was like, oh, hi, Lola Pauline, like, how are you? I will tell this Fenty story till the day I die. But anyways, I went back to my hotel and I had a couple more days in NYC, so I just spent it with my friend Nadia. Shout out Nadia. The rest of the NYC trip, I'm telling you right now, was a blur to me. I was just running off of pure high and vibeness, an experience like no other. Still can't believe to this day that I was able to do that at such a young age. Like what? After the whole shebang-a-lang happened, I think like a year after, it released. It literally didn't release. I didn't even think that it was gonna release. I was just happy to be there. Whether or not it released, I didn't really care. It was the fact that I experienced that and I had a story to tell. I then got contacted by Elsie, who was actually the manager. I think she was the managing director or the creative director or one of those. She was like a big boss. She's up there. Big boss Elsie said, hey, Paul, just letting you know, we're gonna release the campaign at can you please like approve the collab post? I said, say fucking less. So it released on, let's have a look, 14th of September, a year after. Boy, the way that I was like, holy shit. I wasn't even expecting it to release anymore because it's been that long, but it was like, I cannot believe that this has happened. Like everyone has seen me on this thing. Like I'm a Fenty, what? My head, huge. My head was big as the fucking sun. My head was so big that it outgrew the sun, and my Leo-ness was Leoing. You really have to deep that. The way that I outgrew my Leo was just crazy. The way that I was like, from this day forward, no bitch can ever fuck with me. Like, don't fuck with me. I'm a fancy model. Don't fuck with, like, babe, no one can tell me shit. Literally, no one can tell me shit at that point. Because what do you mean I got flued out by Fenty to become a model? And then when that actual video came out, only then was I like, oh shit, I actually went to America. Like, I actually got flued out. I had a chauffeur. I had this whole, like, I experienced this whole big production. I ran through a door. I ran through the door in a New York accent. I picked up a little New York accent while I was there. I'm kidding, but I ran through the door. 2 doors. I said, period. What you know about that? Only then did it really like process in my head that I was like, holy shit, I fully did a campaign with Fenty and I was in New York. Like, what are we fucking on about? Like, really, everything else seemed irrelevant. Babe, be who you wanna be. Anything can happen if you put your mind to it, because you are that girl. I'm super freaking grateful for the people that have actually aligned to have made this happen. And I'm super grateful that I kept believing in myself to a point where I was making content every single fucking day, no matter how many people told me I was cringe, no matter how many people told me like, oh, that's just like a one-time thing, no matter how many people were talking badly about me behind my back, no matter how many people didn't like me, no matter what people's opinions and thoughts were of me, I did not care, because it led me to the moment to be able to achieve something that not everyone can say they have done. This whole time I keep thinking about it like, oh, it was, you know, I was lucky. Like, it just happened to be that my video was on the algorithm. They just liked like how I relayed that message. But no, like, genuinely, it takes a lot of consistency and effort to be able to put this out. And like, sometimes you fight battles in your own head being like, that's cringe, or like, I don't want people to talk badly about me, or like, you know, those doubts start to come in because you're worried about how you're perceived, or you're worried that like it might not work out and that it's embarrassing and stuff like that. But it doesn't fucking matter, because at the end of the day, I don't mean to be like a bit morbid here, but we die. We literally, like, you know, if not now, then when? To end that on a good note, thank you for watching my Fenty story. I'm gonna go fill this water bottle up and put my makeup back on my vanity cabinet. But if you really enjoyed this story time, let me know. I can do so many more story times on all the other campaigns that I've done and have been a part of. But for now, your girl needs to sleep and rest. I'm signing out. Love ya, bye. Oh shit. This is gonna be a fun one to edit, because I've just been yapping for like literally an hour straight. That's crazy.